Well, happy almost New Year, which is better than a almost happy New Year. The happy almost New Year. What a great gift to have the gift of faith. Isn't it wonderful? And though sometimes our faith is shaken, one priest once told me one time, it says, faith is what's left when everything else is gone. Faith is what's left when everything else is gone. And imagine as we get to this feast of the Solemnity of Mary, the Mother of God, how much faith was needed on Mary's part, on Joseph's part, but also for the shepherd. The shepherds, I think we kind of forget what their position was in society. They were nobodies. They had one of the least skilled jobs possible, watching sheep. It's not like bullfighting, you know. It isn't even as challenging as herding cats. And they didn't make much money, and they weren't considered to be very reputable. For this reason, Jesus made the contrast between the good shepherd who lays down his life and the hired hand who has no love for the sheep and runs away when the wolf comes. They were seen to be the lowest rung of the ladder. I don't know who you would pick today, possibly, to try to define that, you know, what the equivalency would be, but, you know, it just was the fact that they were nobodies. And then who do the angels come to? The nobodies. Now, and so you've got this big stretch of distance between the nobodies, to whom the message of the birth of Christ the Savior is made known, and the wise men. A disparity between learning and wealth and education and power and discernment. And so whereas the wise men were able to discern all of the scriptures, all the prophecies, all the oracles point to this, and we have seen his star and it's rising. We have come to worship the newborn king. For the shepherds, it was something entirely different. They basically had to say, did you see what I saw? Did you hear the same thing I just heard? Was it angels? Something about a king? But a king is going to be a child, and instead of a palace, the child's going to be in a manger? Did you hear that? Does that make any sense to you? But the shepherds had to at some point say, we may as well go look, you know. We'd feel awfully bad if it was true and we missed it. And so here it is, the gospel, where the shepherds return glorifying God and praising God for all that they had seen and heard. And so the gift for us on Mary's feast day is for us to treasure the fact that, you know, we who were once in darkness have seen a great light. Upon the people that dwelt in gloom and the shadow of death, a light has shone. As much as the light of the heavenly angels lighting up, you know, a normal, dreary, dark, cold, nothing night with a message, for unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior. So, I don't know what the new year will bring. Hopefully better things. Some, you know, things that we almost take for granted, but which are miracles. You know, a new day each day. We're granted a day. The babies that will be born, the songs that shall be written, the discoveries that shall be made, you know, the diseases that may be conquered, you know, the rapprochement of people who are at odds with each other, people being brought closer in reconciliation. All these things may happen. But if none of them happen, and it would be a truly cruel year if none of that happened, we still have our faith. We still have our faith. I think that's one reason why I like the last Mass of the old year being by candlelight. Because if we blew out all the candles and just had one, it'd be enough to see by. You might have to stand close to it, you know, but it would still be enough. And yet, with all the light that we have by candlelight and on the altar, the lights on the trees, we have to remember that we are enlightened by the message of an angel. And just as that message went to Mary as a maid, and that message went to Joseph as her protector, and that message went to the shepherds and the wise men, it also comes to us. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This is a beautiful little hymn. It goes back to the I don't want to say the 8th century, but I think that's about right. It's creator of the stars of night, the 9th century, okay. And it talks about the one who made the stars of night also made the light of the world. Creator of the stars of night, your people's everlasting light. O Christ, Redeemer of us all, we pray you hear us when we call. In sorrow that the ancient curse should doom to death a universe, you came, O Savior, to set free your own inglorious liberty. When this old world drew on toward night, you came, but not in splendor bright, not as a monarch, but the child of Mary, blameless Mother mild. At your great name, O Jesus, now, all knees must bend, all hearts must bow. All things on earth with one accord, like those in heaven, shall call you Lord. Come in your holy might, we pray. Redeem us for eternal day. Defend us while we dwell below, from all assaults of our dread foe. To God, Creator, God the Son, and God the Spirit, three in one, praise, honor, might, and glory be, from age to age eternally.